Hey guys, welcome back to DMAC Customs YouTube channel, part 476 of the Kustom Console. It's not really, it's just part 4 of the Kustom Console, but it feels like part 476. Okay, let's get into it. Like my shirt. Cool, eh? I drew that. Not like bad language F's and C's, it's like fold and cut marks. It'll be okay, don't worry. Squint, smint. On, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, like that. Where are we at? We're pretty much built it. Got a little pop on the lid that I'm going to take care of with some advice from Jeremy. Thanks, mate. And what else was I going to do? Oh, check this out. This is what I've been working on in the... This is my paper plan for some of the pieces that I'm getting routed out of aluminum from Rhonda at Pure CNC here in New Zealand. And so she's got my files and she's doing her thing with her router, so hopefully that'll be all good. And so there's going to be like this red lined piece here will be the what holds the boot down. This will just be like a aluminium cover, and then there's another little cover there, and then there's another little cover for a boot for the handbrake lever as well. Yeah, there was something. What did I come out here? What did I come here to do? I got to mount this switch. See that one? This is like a little momentary switch that I'm going to mount up to work off the when the transmission's in park. And it'll basically allow power to go through, or earth to go through to the valve block on the air ride system. So when it's out of park, it'll disconnect the power to the valves, but it'll leave normal power going all the way through the rest of the system, so it can kind of like operate the compressors if need be off the sensor, the pressure sensor in the tank and all that kind of stuff. So that can kind of still run at any time, whereas you can only operate the up and down stuff when the system's in park, or when the transmission's in park. It's to do with our certification regulations and stuff here in New Zealand. We have to, you can't operate your air ride while the thing's in motion. So technically you can't do it off the neutral park switch, because you could technically throw it into neutral and dump your car when it's doing like 100k or 100 mile an hour or whatever down the road. Wouldn't want to do that because it'd be dangerous. And so my solution is, rather than do an oil pressure switch, which sounds like more hard work than it should be, is to do a separate park switch, so it's entirely live in park but only partly live when it's out of park, if that makes sense. So I've got to make some stuff to mount that. And oh, that's what I've got to do. I've got to make a thing to go in there, which hopefully will be fairly straightforward. But before I can do any of that, I've got to take this thing back out of the car again. That's for the 400th time, basically. I'm getting quite fast at it now though. So let's pull this back out, and then I can measure up to make my lid-me jig thing, and figure out where this is actually going to sit, this switch. Take that out of there. So what I'm thinking is, oh, do I need those? Oh yeah. Is to build a tab off the main lever here, something either screws in, bolts in, welded on, not sure yet, and then a mount So this switch will just mount down here underneath my aluminium coverage, and yeah, pretty straightforward. I didn't want to go straight onto there because it just feels like it's going to slip off and stuff, whereas if I do like a 90-degree tab off of here to get it more square onto this button, so when it's in park it's like engaged, powered up, yeah, and then when you take it out of park it technically will go like that, like a brake light switch pretty much, but works the opposite way. So when the button's pushed, brake lights, the power goes through. Yeah, okay, sweet. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's what we got to do. We're gonna I'm gonna make the insert for this. See if I can take that out with Jeremy's help, and then I'll make this thing for that. Exciting stuff. And then I really need to get some primer on this. We'll get it sealed up in some way, just so I can put it away in storage until I get a head unit, or we get closer to painting and putting all this stuff back together. Yeah? Okay, let's go. Okay, so remember last week's exciting episode when I was making the lid and we found this? I asked about swaging it. Oh, a chap called Jeremy messaged me or commented down below and suggested shrinking it with a torch. So I haven't really done much of that, done a tiny little bit of it on the recorders, just playing around. So not overly experienced with that, but this is a good place to sort of try it. So I'm going to get my little map torch out and put a little heat. The high spot's right about there, so I'm going to put a bit of heat in that and see if I can pull some of the metal in with heating it and quenching it. Wish me luck. Okay, so some success eventually. I'm not sure whether I should have put the heat on from the backside from the beginning or what, really. I don't really know what I'm doing, trying to shrink steel, but managed to move the little pop around the place, and now I've kind of managed to get the little pop gone, but she's a bit ripply now, so I don't know what to do about that. I think I've actually stretched it again, but I don't know, it's okay. I might take it off and kind of just planish it out a bit more off here, but I'll probably maybe do away with the heat for a little bit, and hopefully that makes it better. But yeah, doesn't really matter too much anyway. Like once this is all done and dusted, it shouldn't be too much of a problem, I shouldn't think. It's just I wanted this inside bit as kind of nice as I could get it, but I could also put an insert in there or something, glue it in there to make it a bit prettier other than just painted. I don't know yet, cross that bridge when we come to it. Okay, that'll do for now. Hey guys, just want to quickly interrupt this video to politely ask you to subscribe if you haven't done so already. That'd be really choice, and Yeah, because otherwise you'll miss out on all that is the Area 51 project, and you don't want that, surely. Okay, back onto it. Okay, so next day, I think I'm going to leave this where it is at now, because I'm probably just going to make it worse if I keep putting heat to it and stuff like that. But I've got the canning and that out of it, tin canning or popping it out of it. Managed to move it around a little bit at first and put a few ripples and stuff in there, but I've sort of managed to bring that back with a bit of planishing with the old, that little sucker there and a block of steel. So now I'm going to set about making a box for in here, storage compartment. Just going to decide how deep I want to make it. Don't really want it, like, there's a lot of room there, but I don't really need it to be that mega deep. So I'm going to take some measurements, draw up a plan on my box that I'm going to make up, and proceed to cut some steel and fold it up and stuff. Yeah, because I got a mate who was a professional box maker, and he taught me everything he knows, and he did a 5-year apprenticeship on it, and when we just talked about it, and now I know how to do it, so that's what I'm going to do, like what he told me. And although it was probably about 20 years ago he told me all this stuff. Okay, so do some measuring. Alrighty, so done some scientific calculating, and this is my plan for my box. Pretty straightforward. I just got to lay it all out and cut it out, fold it up. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, little update. This is my plan. See, I've drawn out what was on here and put it onto there, but in full scale. As you can see, I've got lots of F's and C's on here. It's not like bad language F's and C's, it's like fold and cut marks. I put these on here just to remind myself when I'm cutting out stuff to not cut too far and to cut into things that I want to fold instead of cut. The only flaw with my plan is where the little fold's going to come up over the top into the lip there, is I'm going to end up with a little bit missing, so I might weld in a little piece into each corner so I can have a nicer corner exposed rather than just cutaways. Probably could cut and fold this a different way, but my plan is with this is to have not much welding, rather than sort of butt welding and having heaps of joins and stuff. I'm essentially going to have one lap joint which I'll just plug weld from the outside, which will be hidden down here, and same for the bottom, that will lap up onto the outside, which will be hidden inside the storage area in here, this bit, armrest. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? So just got to cut that, clean it up, do some folding, and hopefully it works. Should work. It's pretty simple, but sometimes the real simple stuff just goes sideways really quickly. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so that's my basic folds kind of roughed in. One thing I should have done before I folded anything, as usual, I got excited and jumped ahead, is I probably should have drilled some holes for plug welds that I want to put into through here. Don't have to plug weld it. I could just do like some little tacks across the back there and whatnot, but it would be kind of neater if I could do some tidy plug welds. That being the ultimate kind of question, can I do some tidy plug welds? So I'm going to have to drill some holes into here without drilling all the way through, because I'm not going to be able to clean up any welds on the back side very easily. There's a bit of a dent in the side of it actually. I wonder if I can fix that. I don't know. Anyway, that's enough for tonight. I've got it where I want it to go. My battery's about to go flat on the old GoPro, and my dinner is on its way back tomorrow. Yeah, good start. I think it'll fit. I don't know if you can see from there, but oh, she might be a bit tight. But I can trim up that lip on the inside there a little bit to get it to go through. God, might have made that tolerances a little snug, but should be right. I'll be able to trim up the that inside lip, because I noticed one side's a little bit out, so all good. Back tomorrow. Okay, so next day, as you can see, I just plug welded up the plug welds. One of them didn't bite enough, and so I just did a couple of little tacks on the outside there. That's alright. Doesn't fit in the hole, so as always, I've made my tolerances a little too tight, and that's alright. I can trim up the hole because it'll fit in that way, I think, hopefully. But once I trim it, we should be good. And then I've just got to fold down this lip and do some more stuff, but I'll grind back, flatten off these little plugs for now, and then get this kind of tidy and where I want it to be, and then I can trim that up to fit. Yeah. Good morning. Next day, ground back my little spot welds on my box that I'm going, my little storage box. Now, normally if I was doing like a spot weld on like a floor or like a trunk pan or something like that, I'd do bigger holes to spot weld through, but I just did like little, I don't know, it's probably only about 5mm holes on this, because there's no sort of there's no kind of weight or load going to be on it sort of thing, and I just thought I'd keep the welds a bit smaller so they didn't push through onto the inside and make the inside messy. But not that that really matters. I'm going to paint and probably put some kind of lining or at least a rubber pad or something in the bottom of this. But next I have to make it fit in there, or fold over these lips, which I might fold over the lip first and then do the final trim up to get it to fit in the armrest section of the Kustom Console. So what do I need to do that? I need these and this. Put that up there. Alright, check it out. There we have, it fits. I'm not sure, maybe should take a little bit more out of that just to, so once paint and everything goes on there, it's not scraping its way in. But yeah, she's still a little tight, but that's right. I'll gotta clean it up a bit more, and I'll take a little bit more off the sides, and then weld the little corner pieces on, and then that'll be that little project complete-ish until it's paint time. Okay, so I thought I should point out a little mistake I made in folding up and measuring out and designing this little box insert. I noticed after I kind of welded it all together and folded down the edges that it's a little out of square on one end. It's not a biggie, it's not going to change anything that much, but I figured out what I did wrong in the length and the fold over and where I folded things. So this outer square at the lap joint I made here, because I made the two long sides exactly the same length, whereas I should have made one of them slightly longer at this end here where I folded it. I should have accounted for the thickness of the side piece. So I should have added, I made it 205 millimeters, I should have made it 206.5. But I wouldn't have been able to fold it that accurately anyway with my stuff, but adding just a little touch to it, it would have kept it in square, but it's okay. It'll be okay, don't worry. You won't, there's a lid. Squint, smint. Okay, update. Got my internal box all kind of trimmed up, dialed in, a couple of wee screws just to hold it in place. Just a couple of self tappers at the moment, but I might put matching screws when I do all the insert stuff, which is all getting cut out of aluminium at the moment by Rhonda at Pure CNC Works here in Tauranga in Gretton. She does really good work, it's really clever. So yeah, that's the little box made. So that's pretty much the console as far as I can take it at the moment, other than paint and sort of smoothing out my hammer marks and pits and my welds and all that kind of stuff. So next up is installing that little switch down in there. So start planning that out. Let's do it. go and have a look. Let's see whether this is gonna even work before I go too far. Could have done with being a bit lower actually, because I've got clearance issues with the old Kustom Console. So I need to remake this, but to get this lower. Or can I flatten this one out? And it doesn't need to be anywhere near as wide as that. So that's the kind of plan, see? Then I have to modify this little domey thing here so I can make this whole switch, because this is a marine starter switch, so it's a momentary switch. So it goes on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, like that. Sweet, right. I actually just flattened out this bit and folded it back down there, so now I'm just kind of trim it up to size and make it a little bit nicer, and she's pretty good to go, I think. Just got to make sure the terminals and everything clears the steel. I've got to have it sideways like that, otherwise the wires will stick up and foul up with my the inserts on the console. But yeah, should be alright, I reckon. Might drill some holes first and trim it. Okay, so take two. Managed to snap my tap off in the old hole that I was trying to tap. I really don't have much success with trying to do it with a drill. I see people doing it all the time, but I've managed to snap probably 3 drill bits for every 3 holes that I've managed to tap. So hopefully this is going to work. I just tried to sharpen this tap again, but oh yep, we might be go. So I'll do it by hand, old-fashioned way, so it's that I don't hopefully snap it again. Oh, she's getting tight. And to get the old broken tap out, I just had to kind of brace this up to stop it flexing and hammered it with a center punch to try and smash the tap, which worked. So that was good. I think success now. Didn't seem to damage up that hole too badly either, so feels like I've got a thread in there. Alright, try this clean hole at the top here. I don't know, maybe I'll open it up just a tad. Now what you just witnessed was me snapping the tap again. What is this, like super hardened steel or something that this lock-arm shift is made out of? Damn it. She's almost through as well. Okay, so managed to clean out yet broken tap number 2. Actually it was the same tap, I just kind of like sharpened it up again, well made a point on it and then snapped it off again, but hopefully the camera will focus on this. I managed to finish off the hole with what was left of it. Now I need to go out and buy a new tap to replace this one, but got it done. So next up, I don't know, next up I've got to figure out what I'm doing next. So that's basically how it's going to work. Hopefully it works. It seems to be sitting up a bit high at the minute, but just need to kind of test that it's only going to power up what I want it to power up and park now. Electrical stuff. Managed to knock the shifter out of alignment, knocking those broken taps out as well, so I'll have to dial that in when it all comes back together as well, but it's okay, we'll get there. Yeah, next up, test it and adjust it, make sure it does actually all work how I want it to work, and yeah, take it from there. I don't know, I will figure it out. Okay, so quick demonstration of how my switch is supposed to work. I've wired up some technical electronic gadgetry here to show you and demonstrate with my DIY test light that I've had for years, which actually it works. I'll show you. So in any other gear other than park, the circuit is broken, so that'll cut the power to the valve block in the back there for the air ride system. So put it into park and then you get power will go to the valve block, so you can operate the valve switches, which will be up here somewhere, and yeah, that's basically it. So take it out of park, still do with a bit more adjustment, like a bit more wound in a wee bit, it sort of power drops off pretty quick and easy at the moment, but just for mock-up purposes, there you are. How's that? My little switch. Well guys, I'm going to leave it at that for this video on the, which will pretty much for now, part 4 final episode on the Area 51 Kustom Console, until we get into the paint sort of stages and stuff like that, and I'll give you a little update when my alloy parts arrive. As always, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, get on that, push the button, it'd be awesome if you're still watching at this point. Don't know what I'm going to do next. on the old Area 51. Kind of been fairly consumed with this console for quite some time that I haven't really been thinking that far ahead. Do need to do something with the back seat, but don't know what I'm going to do there yet. I have got a back seats out of a 4-door sort of 49 to 51, 52 kind of era car, but they are different and they don't fit, and I think they're going to be too tall anyway. So I did think about sort of ripping all the upholstery and that off and seeing if I can modify them to sit a bit lower and narrow the top back and to fit in here, but yeah, I don't know whether it's kind of worth, you know, farting around with that. I don't know. We'll see. So there we have it. A little light in there. I adjusted it so it's a bit more, doesn't sort of want to power off, but that'll be coming out again anyway, so I'll probably have to readjust it when I put it all together. So what did we learn on this exercise? I'm not very good at shrinking steel with a torch. Managed to take the canning, whatever you call it, the pop-up out of the lid, so that was a win, but it kind of didn't go quite how I thought it would, but so it was a win. If you're making a box, allow for the wraparound stuff to keep things square. I probably shouldn't use a drill with taps for tapping steel, because every time I do it I break them, and I break them by hand as well, but yeah, I still managed to break them more so with a drill. So yeah, thanks to everyone who's subscribed and hung around and is following along with the project, and as always, yeah, thanks for watching, and till next time, take it easy and peace. Okay, see ya. Well, I found a little bit of DP40 edge primer in the back room over there that I've had since probably about 10 years, so hopefully it's still alright. I just used some other black etch that I've got that are for the underside and whatnot, and yeah, so that's that kind of sealed up and sealed away until we get ready to do the sort of final finishing and that on it. A little bit left again, so I'm just squirting a bit on the old fender skirts since I had a wee bit left, so just thought I'd sneak that in there and show you that. You still here? I don't know what to say now. It's getting weird now, guys, that you're just hanging around, sitting there watching me sit here do nothing now. It's kind of like you're outside my lounge window while I'm just sitting on the couch in my underpants watching TV. I don't actually sit on the couch in my underpants watching TV, because it's just kind of weird.